Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this week's webinar. As we start gearing up for the transition back to everyday life in the coming weeks, I wanted to talk about a topic that I think many people may find to be different than before: hydration. Once we go back out into the world, we'll be faced with new challenges that could pose barriers to our former hydration habits. For example, wearing a mask will make it more difficult to casually sip on something, or it may no longer be safe to keep drinks at your desk or on the bus or in shared areas. Even just refilling your water bottle may pose new challenges given the number of surfaces you'll need to touch. Even without these new barriers, hydration is still something a lot of people struggle with, which is why now it's especially more important than ever that we not overlook this aspect of health and self-care. So let's talk about hydration and try to troubleshoot some of these anticipated challenges. Water is the most essential and abundant of nutrients. It makes up around 55 to 60% of the body and serves many different roles. For example, water has a structural purpose. It's present in the cells and in the tissues of our body. It moves things through the body. It provides a medium through which nutrients and other substances are delivered and through which waste is removed. So, for example, water makes up a large component of the blood, which carries nutrients, hormones, oxygen, and immune cells, all of which are really important to life. And given that blood is largely made up of water, it is an important aspect in maintaining blood volume and blood pressure. Water is also involved in many of the chemical reactions that take place in the body, like metabolism. Water helps to maintain the balance of certain molecules in our body, like electrolytes, sugars, proteins, all of which need to be really tightly regulated for our bodies to work properly. Body water also helps us regulate body temperature, which needs to be kept within a certain range for the body to survive. All of this to say, we need water to live. Dehydration occurs when our body water falls out of balance. This could result from not drinking enough, or it could occur in situations where we lose a lot of fluids, like during physical activity or if you're ill. Even under everyday normal conditions, we still lose water. We lose about 60% of our body water during resting conditions through urine. We also lose it through defecation, breathing, and perspiration. Certain medical conditions and medications can also impact water balance for some people. So it's important to be aware of signs of dehydration, and these include dark or strong smelling urine, dry mouth, lips, or eyes, poor skin turgor, which is where you pull on the skin on the back of your hand for a few seconds and it doesn't return back to normal. That means you're dehydrated. Sticky saliva, thirst, headache, fatigue, weakness, and impaired cognitive function, whether it's having a hard time thinking or remembering or just feeling kind of foggy. To prevent dehydration and function at an optimal level, it's important that daily water intake is equal to water losses. Everyone is unique, and water needs vary based on a number of different factors like age, size, body composition, activity level, climate, and certain medications or medical conditions. According to the Institute of Medicine, on average, women need 2.7 liters and men need 3.7 liters per day of total water, both from fluids and from food. So this translates to about 2.2 liters for women and 3 liters for men of just fluids. Another way to estimate your fluid needs is based on body weight. So you can try to weigh or divide your weight in pounds by 2 to get the fluid needs in ounces. However, these numbers are only an estimate for the average adult to serve as general guidelines, and they're not your specific fluid prescription. So if you want help estimating your personal fluid needs, you can always contact me and we can look at your unique situation. Ultimately, though, your body is going to be the best judge of your fluid needs, and it will let you know whether you're getting enough or not, but all you have to do is be aware and know what to look for. So in general, if you're thirsty, then take a drink. However, sometimes our sense of thirst is not always the most reliable, and so we should also rely on other body cues. Our urine can be really informative, so if you're well hydrated, you should be going to the bathroom every 1 to 2 hours. If you find that hours have gone by and you still haven't had to go, it's time to take a drink. Also look at the color. It should be clear to pale yellow, not dark. If it's dark, that's definitely a sign you need to drink more water. On average, people get about 80% of their water through fluids and another 20% through food. One of the best ways to get water is through plain and simple drinking water. It's inexpensive, refreshing, and healthy. You can also get water through other beverages like milk, juice, coffee, tea, whatever else you might like to drink. Sometimes these beverages can be great sources of other nutrients, like fruit juice or milk, but other times they may not be the healthiest choice, like having a lot of soda or alcohol. Decaffeinated beverages are preferable since caffeine has been known to have a diuretic effect, although this may not be as extreme as once believed. For example, drinking 1 cup of coffee leads to a loss of about 80 milliliters of water, but you also gain 160 milliliters of water through the fluids. So, although caffeinated beverages don't contribute as much as water or other beverages, they can still contribute to overall water intake and are fine in moderation. Food also provides water, so some foods have higher water content than others. Fruits and vegetables have a particularly high water content, up to 70 to 90%, while dairy, meats, and grains can also be good sources, closer to 30 to 50% of water content. So food not only provides water through its water content, but also through its metabolism. The breakdown of food in the body actually produces small amounts of water. However, altogether, food only accounts for about 20% of water intake. Now let's talk about some tips for hydrating. As I mentioned, there will likely be some new challenges to hydration with precautions at work. Not only will people be wearing masks, which makes it physically harder to drink water, but we might also need to pay closer attention to how we store and access beverages. First and foremost, prioritize plain drinking water over other beverages. Water is the most hydrating in that it has the highest water content per ounce. As we discussed, while caffeinated beverages can still contribute to overall positive water intake, they do still have some diuretic effect that plain water doesn't. So, prioritize water on the job when your opportunities for hydration are limited, and consume other beverages in moderation or at home. On the next slide, we'll talk about some tips for jazzing up your water intake to make it more appealing. Another tip is to use a personal water bottle rather than using a water fountain or cups from a shared kitchen. So if you have a second water bottle, you can also think about filling it up with ice so that you have another water bottle for later in the day, especially if you're on the go and won't have access to a refill. Take breaks. It's really important for a lot of different reasons, including providing a chance to get in a few sips. And for coach operators, it's also really important so that you have a chance to go to the bathroom so that you can continue to hydrate. Take a break in an open area where you can remove your mask, clean your hands, and take out your water bottle or whatever other beverage you brought. Try to take at least one short break every hour or so if you can. Take steps to protect your water bottle or other drinking containers. Keep them in a safe place where they won't be exposed to germs. For example, instead of keeping a mug on your desk, try keeping a travel mug somewhere like a drawer where you can just pull it out as needed. On the bus, keep your beverages safely stowed away where they won't be exposed to airborne germs. Try looking for bottles or beverage containers that have something covering where you physically drink from, like a large lid or a cap. You can also bring snacks to work that are heavy in fruits and vegetables. Especially as the days are starting to get warmer, these snacks can be extra refreshing. And try eating them with watery dipping options, like veggies with some sort of dipping sauce, or fruit and yogurt or cottage cheese. Since it will likely be more challenging to hydrate at work, hydration at home becomes even more important. Try to be extra vigilant at home. Keep a full glass of water handy and sip from it every 15 to 30 minutes. Get extra water at meals by eating high water foods. Remember, fruits and vegetables have the highest water content, followed by dairy products, meats, and whole grains. For breakfast, think things like oatmeal, cereal, yogurt, cottage cheese. For lunches or dinner, think smoothies, soup, stir fry, salads, or meats or seafood dishes. Make water more appealing so it can compete with other beverages. Drink out of a fun glass or bottle. Keep your water bottle in the refrigerator or use ice to make it cool. Try infusing fruits or add a little hint of juice to give it more flavor. Or you could try flavored seltzer waters if you prefer. And finally, as the weather starts to get nicer, people are starting to get more physically active. It's important that you stay on top of hydration so that you don't suffer at work the next morning. Aim for at least 2 cups of water at least 2 hours before starting your workout. If you're doing a long workout or if it's hot out, drink water throughout your workout. And once you're finished, start drinking water right away. Hopefully you got a few ideas for what you can do to try to stay more hydrated as we ease back into everyday life. Remember to be proactive, and if hydration is something that you need extra support with, you can always reach out to me through email or through phone here, and we can work on finding ways to fit healthy hydration into your life. Thank you.